Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we have microphone technology, which I like a lot. We're going to get the party started here. My name's John Engen. I have the privilege of serving as the mayor of the city of Missoula, and on a day like this, it's a special privilege because we get to celebrate something that's been a long time in the making, and many of you have dedicated heart and soul into making this happen. So it's very exciting to celebrate the first steps here in the construction of Fort Missoula Regional Park. We have a number of speakers this morning, but I also would be remiss if I didn't suggest to you that there is coffee brought to us by the Friends of Fort Missoula Regional Park, who deserve a round of applause this morning, I think, ladies and gentlemen, for not only the coffee and the cake, but also for their tireless efforts in making sure that this project received funding from the citizens of the city of Missoula and Missoula County. I did want to let you know, I just had a conversation with a friend who suggested that perhaps people are buried here. This is not the case. This is a celebration of life, not a celebration of life. So we'll be actually using that dirt later for a specific purpose. At least I don't think there's anyone there. So at any rate, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce a remarkably dedicated soul, somebody who cares about Missoulians and makes that concern manifest every day in every way by making sure that we have a park system that is second to none in the West. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Missoula, Ms. Donna Gochler.
Thank you, John. And special thanks to all of you for being here today and for making this possible, because as you know, this has been a very, very long path. Started way back in 1995, acquisition in 1997 from University of Montana, and since 2001, our friends have been active, and so is our planning. So in 2014, you all passed a Parks and Trails bond that is making this project possible. It is an approximate $36 million improvement. The property that we're standing on today, largely to the east, this immediate area will be much the same as it is today, with open view sheds, native grasses, very beautiful, quiet space to reflect. And then behind you will be picnic shelters and plazas. Our friends from Oz, who are on our design team, have some drawings for you. And absolutely beautiful facilities, 9 seated turf fields, 1 artificial, a rugby pitch, all kinds of playgrounds, walking trails, truly something for everyone. We have some guests here today. We have a couple of our council members, Patrick Weaselhead and Ed Childers are here today. And I wanted to introduce them, a whole bunch of friends and their kids, because we're going to turn over some dirt here, and we wanted to make sure everybody could get the spade in the ground. I wanted to also introduce some of our staff. Neil Miner. Neil, would you raise your hand, please? I wanted to pick out Neil because his job changed drastically when you all voted in November. He's pretty much 40 hours a week on this project. We have a large projects team made up of city and county staff. We meet anywhere from 2 to 5 hours every Wednesday to try and implement your strategy, along with our design team, the land group, DJ&A. I see Paul's out there. I mentioned Marty from Oz. We also have Mark Kobos here representing Jackson Construction Group. We're doing this through alternative delivery method, which means it's a massive, complicated project that we're trying to get done on time and on budget. And when you're doing phases and trying to make this place playable by this time next year, we hope to be hosting our first special event at Fort Missoula Regional Park. Currently, we're calling it At the Fort. Stay tuned for more later. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this back to John. And again, I want to thank all of you, including all the staff at the city and the county, for all their really hard work and our design team and the many, many friends that made this possible.
Thank you very much, Donna. So it turns out there's a little history here at Fort Missoula, and there's no better person to tell us a little bit about that history than the inimitable Tate Jones, ladies and gentlemen, representing the Montana Museum of Military History and the remarkable work that's gone on out here. Tate, come on up.
Mr. Mayor, I believe this is the historic burial site of for prospects of private ownership of mountain water in the future. Thank you, and good morning. By my count, I have to date attended 4 post-closure ceremonies for Fort Missoula and 3 kickoff ceremonies for Fort Missoula Regional Park. So I have no doubt we will meet back here again. But to paraphrase Rahm Emanuel, never let a good crisis or good cake go to waste. Looking for some words appropriate to today, I could do no better than the following. Short of the actual preservation of its existence in a great war, there is none that compares in importance with the central task of leaving this land even a better land for our descendants than it is for us, and training them into a better race to inhabit the land and pass it on. Conservation is a great moral issue, for it involves the patriotic duty of ensuring the safety and continuance of the nation. The health and vitality of our people are at least as well worth conserving as their forests, waters, land, and minerals. And in this great work, the government must bear a most important part. Those thoughts were written by Gifford Pinchot, the future first chief of the U.S. Forest Service for Theodore Roosevelt in 1910. And appropriately, Pinchot met here at Fort Missoula in 1896 with Lieutenant George Ahern to begin a research expedition into the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness. This park will be a living embodiment of Chief Pinchot's vision, encompassing outdoor recreation, natural features, and historic interpretation. Credit is in great share due to those advocates who first made the proposal and carried it through public review, the staff and design consultants of the City Parks and Recreation Department, and the elected officials of Missoula City and County who facilitated the ballot process. But today, we must give first accolades to the electorate and general public of Missoula, who saw this park as an embodiment of the values most cherished by those of us fortunate to call this beautiful valley our home, and have backed that belief with their tax dollars. We were fortunate as well, at our last dedication ceremony, to have some surviving veterans of the 1930s Civilian Conservation Corps assist us in seeing this project off. Fittingly, this park will commemorate and honor in its architecture and signage this immense accomplishment in the midst of the Great Depression, when 3 million men, 40,000 of whom passed through Fort Missoula, left a massive legacy of public works and spread the conservation ethic from its original wealthy founders to the American public as a whole. Like the CCC, this park as well is a product of a time of economic downturn, certainly less intensive than that of the Depression years, but painful for many regardless. Yet rather than surrender to apathy and fatalism, Americans of the Depression era and Missoulians of the 2010s took up common attitudes. That public investment plays a key role in rebuilding economic prosperity. That public investment repays far more than its initial outlay. That public investment leaves our communities better places than we found them. That public investment for the benefit of future generations does not terminate simply due to temporary downturns. That public investment worked in the past, works today, and will continue to work in the future, in Pinchot's words, for the greatest good, for the greatest number. So as we break ground today, we can salute the formidable legacy of Gifford Pinchot, the CCC, and all of those in the past who worked to make Missoula what it is today, the first city of the state of Montana. And we can also take pride that this effort will be saluted by generations of Fort Missoula Regional Park users, caretakers, and benefactors to come.
Thank you very much, Tate. We appreciate that and all your support over time. It's been a big deal getting from where this all started to where we are today, and Tate's been instrumental in all of that as well. So one of the things that happens out here, ladies and gentlemen, is people have an opportunity to get healthy. And as you can see here, this is a prescription trail, ladies and gentlemen. I've been trying to avoid having this trail prescribed to me. I would prefer to do it on a voluntary basis, but we have partners at Community Medical Center and in the health community who are acknowledging the value of these recreational opportunities in public health. And here representing that community is Dr. Kristen Anderson, who has been nothing but helpful in making this happen. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. I have a lot of partners that are happy to prescribe the trail. Well, I just want to thank everybody here, because I know if you're here, you care about what's happened here. If you're here, you care about what's happened here. It's just such an honor to be a part of this. You know, I thought about explaining this to my daughter. She asked what we were doing this morning, and I said, well, you know, the mommies and daddies and other people in Missoula decided that this was a really important place for people to be healthy and to do healthy things. My daughter loves to exercise, and when I think about the commitment and the investment that we're making today, I really think about the impact that this will have on her and her friends and our family. And, you know, I think about the data. The data shows that the more we exercise and the healthier we are, the happier we are. We have fewer problems with mental health and depression. We're able to fight chronic disease, diabetes, hypertension, and we do it in a way that is low cost. It's easy, it's fun, it makes you feel good. It doesn't mean that you have to go get a prescription, except get a prescription from your doctor. So this is such a wonderful opportunity for all of us to take advantage of that. The data also shows that communities need to come together and build policies so that we have places for people to come. If they don't, they might not be as healthy as they could. So I think about the investment that's happening today, and it's so important, but the investment that we're making for our families for the future is important now, but it's just has limitless opportunities down the road. So thanks to everybody that's here.
Thank you, Kristen, very much. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, and last but not least, a champion of this project and many other projects around Missoula County, someone who has worked long and hard to make sure that everyone has a chance at a good life in Missoula and its surrounds, Commissioner Jean Curtis, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, you think back to, this was actually all Army ground around here, and I forget whether the county bought it for $1 or they gave it to us, but thank goodness they did, because there are some people that have worked long and hard to make sure that we don't forget the history that's here. You know, there was a proposal at one time to build some housing out here that said, no, that doesn't fit, so we're glad that that happened too. I'd just like to thank all the different groups that have worked on this for a long time. You know, Margaret Mead talked about how small groups of people are the ones that actually get things done, and it's been lots of small groups that all came together, and it's made a huge difference. When I was first elected commissioner, one of the first things that I got to do was to work on the plan that's in the middle right there with a lot of you on what this could look like. The city had purchased their piece, and the county had a piece, and it was like, how does it all fit together? How do we do this to make a regional park that has active and passive things to do, but also honors the history that's here and blends well with our historical section of the fort next door. So we do appreciate that the museum has been involved, that the military museum folks have been involved, like Tate, and here we are today. When the city and county did a survey of folks asking how they use parks in Missoula County, in the city and the county, 60% of the people that responded said that they come here for something. I know I played softball on the softball fields for many years, and it'll be nice to have them not be quite so hard to run on and have the irrigation work and all of those things. And many of you have worked on everything. It's from, little kids play soccer out here. Big people play rugby out here. People play ultimate frisbee. I mean, it's a great space. And we're just fortunate that if you think about it, we'll have 156 acres here that it will be in public domain. You go to the middle of town where the fairgrounds and Playfair Park, there's another 160 acres of public land. Then you go downtown to the river, and we've got the, McCormick. And we are just fortunate that we managed to save those open spaces for the public to enjoy. As you live in a city and there's density, you need to have places to recreate, places to get out and think. And it's always amazing to me when you come out here, just the view and the fact that you don't realize that there's a big old city right over the horizon. So it's great to be here. Thanks to all of you. This also fits in with the Let's Move Missoula that we've all been working on to, again, have more places for people to be active so they can be healthy, happy. So thanks for coming today, and I think the mayor's going to tell us how we use these shovels.
I think what we do is we have folks gather around these piles of pre-dug soil.
Can we call up all the kids?
Absolutely. And what we'll do is grab a shovel and give a little turn. But let's have the kids come up. Little people, small people, you can bring ukulele if you'd like. And you should know those shovels, because this is government. Those are real gold shovels, by the way. Wonderful. Excellent. All right, is everybody ready? We're going to do this on the count of 3. How's that sound? 1, 2, 3, dig! Yay! That's fantastic. Now we're going to need you kids out in the field for the next 3 months. I hope that's going to be okay. That's one of the ways we're managing the budget.
John, you can invite anybody else who wants to.
Anybody else who wants to turn a shovel, come on up. There's plenty of dirt, lots of shovels. I bet these kids will share. All right, Rod, way to not be shy. I appreciate that.